Today on the channel, we're back at it with another G.I. Joe Classified Series 2-pack unboxing. And this time, we got two old-timers in Steeler and Shortfuse.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another G.I. Joe Classified Series unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got Steeler, we got Shortfuse, but for all your G.I. Joe Classified Series needs, make sure you hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Gotta get a deal out there. And this currently hitting Target stores and shipping out from Hasbro Pulse. I believe a Target exclusive, much like the Divers before it. Who knows what happens in the future? We see Hasbro release these to the Jay's Toys and Games of the world, so we'll stay tuned if that does happen. But I did pick this one up at Target just yesterday, which leads us to today. And of course, going to do that review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And Steeler and Shortfuse, two old-timey G.I. Joes as far as the 3 3/4 generation goes, as far as the animated series goes as well. Not heavy hitters like a Flint or a Roadblock, let's be honest, but Steeler and Shortfuse, the guys that have been around. Shortfuse, we remember him from the early episodes and Steeler from the early episodes. And I would say for Steeler, the most famous episode, the one I always think of with Steeler, is the Worlds Without End episode, one of the all-time great G.I. Joe cartoons, where him and the Baroness were in love, I guess in an alternate reality is really what it was. And Steeler, I think, didn't he die in that reality? Then the Steeler from our world came over to that world and fell back in love with the Baroness and ended up sticking around. Oh man, that's what a good lady will do, make you stick around. Maybe it's Poughkeepsie. Who knows? But, you find out, hey, okay, I think I'm going to stay here. And that's what happens to some of these guys. I've had friends that have done it before. But Steeler, Shortfuse, two all-timers. But the Worlds Without End for Steeler is what I think of. I remember that classic episode, of course, as well, when they're like at that Joe graveyard and there's all the dead Joes in there. That was pretty dark for kids' TV back in the day. I was eating it up. I was like 4 years old. I'm like, I'm here for this. This is what I want. So I know some kids are probably scarred by it. Not me, though. Not little Kyle. But we're going to dive into it here, and we're going to see what all the fuss is about. And I do think this is a good two-pack because, let's be honest, once again, it's not Flint, it's not Roadblock. These aren't two all-time favorites from Joe team members. And I can hear it in the comments, Todd McFarland, oh, Steeler's my favorite Joe. Well, you're the only one. Well, you know what I mean. But a good idea to put these two in a two-pack together because, let's be honest, look at them. They're very plain Jane. That's the OG Joes. Very plain Jane until it got to the sci-fi years in more ways than one. They got a little extra pizzazz, but nothing against it. Just a little plain Jane. I think it works good to have these guys in a two-pack. That's just my opinion, though. But looking good right here, Steeler and Shortfuse. And what is it? Ralph Steeler Pulaski. Oh, the Polish powerhouse here. And then Shortfuse doesn't have a fancy name with his. But that tells you that Steeler must be trademarked, so they had to put old Ralph in the front there. We've seen that before in the Joe line. Classified series down here, 4 and up, you 3-year-olds, you can't handle Steeler, and you certainly can't handle the Shortfuse, but you 4-year-olds, come on in. The water's just fine. Looking good here. There's the 2 on the side, looking good. Number 181 in the toy line. Who's going to be 200? Can't wait to find out. Nothing too fun over here unless you're into QR codes, if you're one of them. Jibber jabber down low, then some glamour shots on the side. 2 OG Joes getting the job done, as we do know here. Anything back here? Nothing at all. Shortfuse just doing his thing, it looks like, on the side. And we're going to pull them out. We're going to whip out my Shortfuse. It's a long fuse, though. Mine's real long. It wraps around the house. There we go. Jeez. Spider-Man style. See you later. Goodbye. Come on. Come on, Steeler. Come on, Shortfuse. See you later. Goodbye. Get that G.I. Joe background. See you later. Goodbye. Oh, my goodness. They got a lot going on here with Steeler and Shortfuse. Quite the loadout. Quite the plastic prison. I'm going to take this offline, get these two out of the package, and we'll be back talking all things G.I. Joe Classified. All right, let's dive into Steeler and Shortfuse, and it's kind of confusing with these two here because in my brain, Shortfuse and Steeler are both blonde-haired. So I look at these, I'm like, well, the packaging reads this way. The brown-haired guy is supposed to be Steeler. Shortfuse is supposed to be the blonde-haired guy. But in my brain, they're both blonde-haired, and they both kind of have the same look. So it's a weird one, plays with your mind a little bit, but Steeler is brown hair. Shortfuse is blonde hair. There we go. Don't get confused. Don't get confused. But let's dive into it. Let's start with the accessories. And let's start with the accessories, much like Todd McFarlane from the couch, that go both ways. And that's where we're going to start here, as we do get a lot of effect pieces with this one. We do get some flaming effects on the end, looking very good. You can mix and match, change them up, use them however you want to. Plenty of different effect pieces right here. Different ones you plug into the weapons, and we'll get into all the weapons shortly. They combine like Legos. You can put them together, all kinds of different stuff. And you even got one smoking end there as blasting away. So plenty of effect pieces here, and kind of glad they put those in there because, once again, these are pretty plain Jane Joes as far as things go. They need a little bit of extra pizzazz. Now, we did get a shovel, and I'm not sure who the shovel goes with. Maybe Shortfuse, he's digging a hole to get his rocket launcher a little steadier, maybe. I'm not sure. So this one could go either way. I'm leaning towards Shortfuse. You guys tell me in the comments. Silver on the end, black handle here, a small shovel, perfect for like the trunk of your car. You're stuck in the snow or something like that. You can dig your way out. Is what it is. But let's start with Steeler, since he has the least amount of stuff. How about we'll start with him. Steeler comes with a little knife, little silver knife, black handle, looking good. Always good to have a knife. You do get a machine gun with a suppressor, silencer, suppressor, whatever you want it to be here. Does come removable, looking very good. All things considered, we've seen this before, all in black. Nice to see that. And then we get a little pistol, which we've seen before as well, all in black. And as usual, all these weapons, you can use the effect attachments too, if that is your thing. But now diving into Steeler right here. Steeler got the big old helmet here. We do like that. The visor does come up and down. Good to see. You know, Steeler, he's going to hop in the Mobat. Are we going to get a Mobat one of these days? That'd be a fun vehicle. We'll see if that happens or not. But he does have the green helmet with the black visor. You do got a little communication device on the sides. We can talk to people while he's rumbling down the roads. Looking very nice. So I like the helmet. He will be displayed with the helmet for me. You give me this head, I would never know in a million years this is Steeler. I wouldn't even know. Is this G.I. Joe? Is it Marvel? What is this guy exactly? Once again, this isn't Roadblock. This isn't Flint. It's Steeler. But interesting. A nice stoic look on his face. A little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow going on. 2 ears, 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and a very stoic face. He's not the happiest of campers. Nice haircut. You can set your watch to if you wanted to. Looking pretty good there. Now, the body on this one, you could pop the head off, put almost any head on here, and you got a very generic looking Joe. So if you want to use these as kind of subtle green shirts in your collection, you could probably do that as well. But you do have that going for it if you need to. Green bodysuit throughout, got a green shirt underneath there, got the vest on the top. You do got the holster for his pistol if you'd like to. That does move back and forth if you need it to. He just got the hole for a backpack. No backpack with him though here. You do got a belt here looking nice. Got a couple of carabiners on the front. And then you got the belt. You got storage here for his knife. You got storage for the machine gun. You even got storage for the suppressor silencer if that is your thing. Getting down into the boots. Black army boots on this one. Black gloves as well. You do got a butterfly shoulder on here. You do get a bicep cut. Arms all the way around. Double jointed elbows, very smooth, almost a little loose on those elbows there. Hands back and forth, side to side. Got a trigger hand over here, trigger hand over here. Hands, we didn't get any extra hands. We don't get them a lot with the G.I. Joe line occasionally, but none here today. You do get that ab crunch. You do get waist articulation. Drop down hips, G.I. Joe style. Leg goes up, thigh cut, always nicely hidden in these Joes. You do get double jointed, pinless knees, very tight in the knees. Boot cut, ankles, back forth, side to side, up and down. Our usual G.I. Joe Classified Series articulation here for Steeler. Somebody get him the Baroness stat. That's what he wants. And once again, I always remember back to that episode. Whenever I hear Steeler, that's what I think of. A wild time. I can't believe those Joes stayed put. Just a wild move. A wild move. I would have never done it, but they did. No doubt. But there it is, Steeler. Looking only like a Steeler could look. No doubt about it right there. Now we're turning our attention over to Shortfuse. And from my estimation here, he's got quite the loadout going on. And I would say in the pantheon of Joe popularity, you got the Flints up here. You got the Dukes well below my house. You got Steeler maybe down here, and you got Shortfuse maybe down here. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's my age bracket showing once again. But we do know Steeler Shortfuse, probably not in the top 5 list of most people's favorite Joes of all time. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Just like Todd and I are honest every single day about Flint being the true leader of G.I. Joe. You know I had to do it, Todd. There's people that are calling for it in the comments. There's people that watch these videos just for the Duke slander. And it's not really slander if it's true, is it? That's where I go here. But we know Duke's a terrible leader, and maybe we'll get back into that, and we're going to get to another true leader. Now, Flint's a true leader. We all know he is the true leader of G.I. Joe. He is the model for what G.I. Joe should be, but there's other leaders in the Joe organization, as we know, and we're going to bring one out later in this video, so stay tuned for that. But let's dive into the loadout here for Shortfuse. Got the silver blade, black handle once again. Always got to have a little knife ready to go. Got a little pistol action right here. Got a little wrappings there on the bottom here, a little white wrapping, I guess what that is. Same thing over here. You got the big weapon, the big rifle, and you got the wrapping. Are these left over from Recondo? I think that might be, possibly. And oh my gosh, he's got a magazine, and just as I suspected, True G.I. Joe Leader Monthly is what this one is. No signs of Duke on the cover anywhere here. There's Sergeant Slaughter. I see him. Oh, I see Admiral Flag in the background right there. There's Beachhead shaking Admiral Flag's hand. And there's, of course, Flint right up front, the true leader of the Joe team. But no Duke on there. Hard times for old Conrad Hauser. I think he's fighting his legal battles right now. If you guys saw that mainframe review, he was trying to wipe that computer. It didn't go so well for him. They got turned over to the authorities. So he's doing hard times in more ways than one, Todd McFarlane. Duke, what are you doing? You reap what you sow, Duke. You reap what you sow. But we do get the weapon right there. We do got the big machine gun here. I can't remember where this one came from. We've seen this before. Who is this with? Can't think off the top of my head. But we do get a magazine with this one as well, and it is Inmate Monthly. Of course, the Joes want to keep tabs on these inmates. And looks like Destro's in there. I don't know how that happened. Thrasher from the Dreadnoks. He's an inmate currently. And there it is. Duke, Inmate Monthly. Duke is in the jail. Who's he rooming with there? Oh my gosh. Who is that? I can't tell. He's got glasses. It looks like Monkey Wrench, and he's going to be Duke's Monkey Wrench in there, if you know what I mean. So there it is. Shout out to the Joe team. Of course, more weapons here. I guess Shortfuse known for his big boom, long stick go boom like a young crocus. Have we talked about crocus on the channel before? Long stick go boom. Check it out. But we do got this going on. I think this is the first time we've seen this as well. He sets up there. He's going to fire some mortars in there. You only get one, so he's only got one shot at glory like a young Judas Priest back in the day. He's going to fire that bad boy in there and shoot it out and blast it out in all black. Does fold up, which is nice to be able to carry this. And I believe fits on here, fits in his backpack, so you can march around, carry this around. Some heavy lifting, something Duke would never do. He would never help his men out. But you do get this backpack, and you can put that back in there. That's kind of nice to see. A very plain backpack here, though. Very wire-like. Almost looks like a sled is what it looks like. But you can store this on the back. March it around if you want to. That's what you got to do. You reap what you sow if you're hiring. It's kind of like the tuba player in band. You know, you got to lug that big tuba. You got to lug that cello around. If you're going to do the big bombs, the big missiles, the big mortars, you got to lump that thing around. That's what Shortfuse had to do here. Nice green backpack. First time we've seen that as well. Now, he does come with two different looks for him, Shortfuse. You do got some glasses, so you can have him looking extra dashing in these glasses if you want to. So we have that option. You also have the helmet. You got to be safety first when you're blowing some big missiles. He does got the helmet as well. Looking very nice. This helmet extremely tight, but there it is. Get that over on the head, looking good. Once again, the visor can come up and down. I'm going to display him, I think, with the visor up is I think what I'm going to do. Got the microphone right there. He's phoning in. He's letting Flint and Beachhead know what's going on the front lines. Of course, he X'd out Duke's number because he's in jail right now, so we know how that goes. You got the vest over the top here. You got a little walkie-talkie at the very top. Once again, very plain Jane, great army builder. If you want to move the head around, take the head off and put it on somebody else, you could easily do that here. Got a couple of patches. I guess they're not patches. I guess that is a little pocket in there. So you got that on both biceps. Got that long flannel shirt. Got the cuffs on the end. You got the fingerless gloves here in brown, looking nice. Got a couple of pockets on the side. Got a holster here. You got a holster for his knife. Always nice to be able to store the stuff on the Joes, as we always say. dark green pants against the lighter green at the top, almost looking like a green shirt, which we're going to have on the channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. And then you got the Joe boots down here looking very good in the green and brown attack. Articulation, the same as Steeler, it looks like. You do got butterfly shoulders, arms all around, bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows, hands back and forth side to side, head back and forth side to side. Forgot about the neck articulation. I always forget about that in the Joes. We do have that as well. Ab crunch, waist articulation, drop down hips, leg goes up, thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees, boot cut, ankles back and forth side to side. All the usual articulation. You do got that holster for the knife on the bottom. Drives me crazy, falling down all the time, and it doesn't really fit very well on this boot. Might have to heat it up or something, but always hate it when those drop down. Gives me PTSD from Marvel Legends. They always had stuff like that that falls down. Like, looking at you, Cyclops. And does he fit? Oh my gosh, he's tight. He's got a tight hole. Oh man, maybe a weekend with Duke would stop that tight wholeness there. I don't know, but doesn't want to fit on a ringside stand. A little surprised by that, in all honesty. Maybe it was just that boot. Nope. He doesn't. Well, there we go. Got it on there. But boy, that's a fighter. He's a fighter, old Shortfuse. We got Steeler. We got Shortfuse. Rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling with the latest and greatest G.I. Joe Classified 2-pack. In the grand scheme of things, not the fanciest one, not the biggest explosion, pun intended, for this. There is better characters in the Joe Pantheon history, as we all do know. We all have our favorites, and I'm guessing these two aren't really anybody's favorites, but I do think it's smart by Hasbro to put them in a 2-pack together. I think it makes more sense. I think it will help sales on this, but I don't think of this as being one of the pivotal classified figures or sets that we do need. I know somebody in the comments is going to say differently, but as a whole, we all got to be honest on this one here. But it is fun to have, and I love to build out that G.I. Joe team. I want everybody that was ever released in G.I. Joe to get a figure, so I definitely would want Shortfuse and Steeler one of these days. It's just a little shocking to me that we got these two before Deep Six or Captain Gridiron or something like that. Maybe that's just me once again. But fun for what it is. I'm fun for all these G.I. Joe figures. I'm getting them all. Not a bad piece of business. But I did talk about another leader that would fit in good with these. Another one we unboxed just recently, General Hawk in the MMS. I have no problems with Hawk. He is a great leader, but he doesn't lead from the front lines. That's what true leaders do. They go arm in arm with their men into the front line. Hawk doesn't necessarily always do that. He does it way more than Duke does. You never see Hawk getting captured. You never see Flint getting captured. Just saying, just saying. And then Duke got captured recently again. He's sitting in a jail cell with Monkey Wrench. You know how it goes. But this Hawk goes good with him. This almost looks like a sub-squad of the G.I. Joe, like a Tiger Force or a Night Force. You could have General Hawk leading these guys out there. Heck, we get those green shirts. You put those with them. There's a little Joe sub-team for you, a little special mission force led by General Hawk. Choose your own adventure, as usual. But what's your thoughts on Steeler and Shortfuse? You getting these two? You need these two in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels. 2 channels with content every single day. Check it out if you have not already. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. The Kyle Peterson Show, my weekly podcast each and every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. So for the latest G.I. Joe Classified 2-pack, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?